I've been getting a lot of messages asking if I've seen Seth Feroce's video, his truck rant. It's actually on his channel. Check it out. It was posted April 19th. His channel is just called Seth Feroce, Feroce. And the full title was Truck Rant slash Steroids Will ... Kill You? Question mark. And you know what? I agree with everything Seth said. So yeah, I saw the video and I'm full agreement with his portrayal of steroid use and our need to get gigantic in size, this superhuman size and mass and bulk as a almost a form of mental illness, an addiction anyway. And I have a lot of thinking myself to do about this because I've been using steroids myself, mostly on, I say on and off, but mostly on since late 1996. Very end of 96 is when I started. So that wasn't even this millennium. It was the previous millennium. I was 27 years old when I started. I'm 52. God willing, I'll be 53. And I'm doing a lot of hard soul searching, thinking about my own steroid use and my own need to be big. And when I say big, it's relative. Big meaning I'm not as big as Big Ramy, as Steve Kuklo and Nick Walker. I know this, guys. Don't worry. I'm not delusional. I don't think I'm some massive, monstrous specimen of humanity. But like right now, I'm holding pretty lean 218, 220. If I wanted to get into shape for a bodybuilding contest, I'd probably be about 205. That would be, the striated glutes and all that crap. But I've really decided against competing again. As much as I loved competing, I did it for 24 years. And, the lure of that pro card, it's crazy. I know having IPB Pro before my name, after my name, wouldn't do a damn thing for me career-wise. I guess maybe I could charge more as a coach. But, I know plenty of people who have that title, the IPB Pro card, that they almost got it accidentally. They stumbled into it. They were, especially a lot of masters, they might have had a very weak class, men and women, in divisions like classic physique, women's physique, where maybe they only had to beat 2 or 3 people to turn pro. In some cases, one. I know one guy who beat one person at a pro qualifier and he became a pro. So, doing it just for a pro card doesn't make any sense for me. But psychologically, I do have that bigorexia, the body dysmorphia. And the crazy thing is I know I wouldn't be that much smaller because I responded fairly well in the beginning to steroids. Average results, average response. I never had tremendous, crazy gains like some of these people that I've seen over the years. I'm an average gainer in pretty much all aspects, with drugs, without drugs. So I wouldn't be that much smaller. I'd certainly be healthier. Seth Feroce talked a lot about he knew he took years off his life. He knows this, he accepted it. And I know the same thing. I know that I'm not going to live as long as I would have had I never taken a steroid. And was it worth it? I guess when I'm on my deathbed, unless I just die suddenly like that, I guess I kind of would prefer that rather than like a lingering painful death, right? But I guess, is it worth it? Is it worth living less? That's a question that no one can answer for anyone else because it's my life. You guys, you have your life. Nobody can tell you. I can't tell you how to live your life, how you should live your life. I can tell you, but you shouldn't listen, and vice versa. Everyone has to make their own decisions about their own life, what's important to them. Was it important to me to be big and to be bigger and stronger than I would have been without steroids? Yeah, it was I loved it. Just like Seth talked about. I loved being jacked and those crazy pumps, the inhuman training sessions, all those crazy workouts I did over the years. Just having that physique that I never would have had. I would have had a smaller version of the same physique. I don't think I ever would have been over 200 pounds lean had I never touched a steroid. I'm well aware of that. But, it's tough. If on this channel we have a Lev Roney report that Kevin and I did last week called How Can We Stop the Deaths? And I don't think there's any way to stop the deaths while you're using steroids and eating all this food. Both of those things are going to take years off your life. There's no way around it. I mean, we talk about the dog analogy sometimes. Big dogs don't live as long as small dogs. And it's true. I had a great German Shepherd when I was a kid, German Shepherd Collie mix. He was a pretty big dog. I think he was about 100 pounds, Rebel. Rebel passed away, I think he was like 11. Love that dog. Then I had another dog, Chewy, a Shih Tzu that we put down last year. She was 18 and a half, almost 19, and she would have lived. She had dementia. Physically, I think she would have lived at least another year, but we decided to put her down because, her quality of life was terrible. But, it's hard to say. I know I'm not going to live as long. How long am I going to live? I don't know. Was I going to live to be 100? I doubt it. My dad passed away at 57 when I was 16 years old. No steroids. He didn't smoke. He drank a little bit, a few beers a week. Nothing crazy. Didn't smoke. He exercised every day. He was a mail carrier. He walked 6 days a week. I think he told me one time, this is long before we had the Fitbits and all that and the steps to measure how many. He somehow worked out with maps and everything. He walked about 10, 12 miles a day. So, he was a fit guy. He didn't eat that well. He ate a lot of processed foods. Spam was his favorite food. He loved spam and bacon. Didn't eat vegetables. Didn't eat chicken. Yeah. I guess I'll go to some of your questions now, guys, or comments. This is more of a commentary situation. The reason I go live is to get your input, your feedback. So let's see what you guys have to say. Let's go to the phones, as they say. Truck rant was great, says Freddie. Yeah, it was. That was one of the most real videos I've seen, and Seth was very, very transparent, very honest and open about, how good he felt on steroids and how he changed his whole perspective because his doctor a couple of years ago said, you keep doing what you're doing and, you're going to have some very, very serious health problems, maybe die. So no, I don't think anybody stops steroids until they have to. And unfortunately, from a lot of people, the event that would have stopped them kills them. If you're lucky, you get a second chance. Some people get second chances and they still keep using them and die. And that's addiction right there. Thomas McDonald, yeah, I saw Seth Feroce. Kevin said it right, mental problem, yeah. Freddie Erickson, I'm big compared to tennis and other cyclists. They're small, 128 to 150. I'm a Hulk at 199, getting down to 185. Yeah, it's all relative. I mean, to regular people, I'm a big dude. Regular people. I go to shows like, I go to like a big bodybuilding, a pro show, an expo. Not big at all. There's guys, I'm 5'7.5" now. I used to be a little taller. There's guys with a 40, 50, 60, 70 pounds on me at my height. I mean, I trained with Kai Green recently. He might be a little taller than me, but he was every bit of like 295, 298 pounds, something like that. That's a big dude. Thomas McDonald, I'm always staying natural, but I do take muscle building pills. Well, what pills are you taking? If you're taking pro hormones or SARMs, you're on drugs. I hate to break it to you. You are on drugs. You're just not on the same drugs that bodybuilders are on, but you're on drugs. Let's see. Freddie Erickson. Ron IPB Pro sounds good. Go natty, find a show with no show. Well, they don't give natural. There's no way for a natural person to turn pro in the IPB Pro League except for the Universe, which I don't even know if they test anymore. I don't think they do, because we used to send teams. That's why it was called Team Universe for many, many years. We used to send a team to the World Amateur Championships. We stopped sending them supposedly because of terrorism after 9/11. And then in 2017, the IFBB split, and the World Amateur Championships is now that other IFBB that we have nothing to do with, the IFBB Elite over in Europe. So, yeah, I think there's a Ben Weider natural pro qualifier up in Canada or something, but I don't think we have anything that's really tested in the U.S. But, I'm 52. What the hell? Who cares anymore? How are those muscle building pills working out for you? Freddie Erickson, question is, how many years? Nobody knows. And quality of life. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Do I want to be healthy and live a long life? Sure I do. And I'm never going to be a small guy. I'll keep working out. I'll keep doing the weight training. I don't think I would need to eat as much. I still do like to eat. That's the problem, is I eat 5 meals and a shake every day. I can't imagine just trying to go hours and hours without eating. I guess I could have snacks and little shakes and stuff, but Yeah, I mean, to really complete the health overhaul, I would have to go strictly TRT. TRT is just enough test as determined by blood work to put you in a high normal range of testosterone. So for most people, a doctor will prescribe them between 100 and 500, I'm sorry, 100 and 200 milligrams a week. 250 is like the high end for TRT. I mean, I have guys saying, I'm on TRT at 500. No, you're not. That's not TRT. That's a cycle. So I would drop down to TRT. I'd probably drop down. I don't know what I'd weigh. I don't know what I'd look like. I'm sure my midsection would be smaller without all the food and all that. But I do plan on finding that out sooner rather than later, guys. Freddie asks questions. Super addictive, definitely. Dusty choked on food. Is that Dusty Hand, Sean? Plant-based muscle builders. A Westie. Freddie had a Westie that lived 15 years. I'm not sure what a Westie is. Freddie Erickson, average male in the USA lives to 78. I think COVID actually knocked the life expectancy in the USA down like a year or two. It was that many people died from COVID, that many elderly people, that our average lifespan, I believe it did go down like a full year, which, that's unprecedented. Lifespans usually go up as time goes by. I think around the time of the Revolutionary War, the average male lifespan in the USA, or was it even called the USA, was like 40, 42 or something. That was the average, because a lot of people died in childbirth. A lot of kids died of childhood diseases. They didn't have a lot of medical treatments, so people died. They just died. So if you lived to be 50 or 60 back then, you were way ahead of the curve. Rob Wells, 52, just like me, and got up to 265 this offseason. Ready for the season. I have big anorexia and just love the life. Yeah. What do you do if you really love bodybuilding, you love being big and strong and looking this certain way and feeling a certain way? How do you go back from that? How do you, it's hard to wrap my head around. I think, luckily for me, I am not that huge, so it's not going to be that dramatic. I'll get smaller, but I'm not going to get a lot smaller when I go strictly TRT. I seriously doubt I'm going to get under 200, 210 pounds. I'd probably have to really watch my diet more to stay leaner. And I think I would keep like 2 IUs of growth hormone. That's what I'm on now, 2 IUs of growth. I don't think a therapeutic dose of growth hormone for someone over 50 is a bad thing. I don't. There's millions of people around the world who aren't bodybuilders who use growth hormone for all the beneficial properties that it has. What else we got? Kai made you look 200. Yeah, I mean, I have the fortune of being able to hang out with some of these people, but it's also kind of it's a blessing, but it's also kind of a curse because I have to stand next to some of the biggest human beings that have ever existed. I've had to take pictures. I've had to be next to guys like Ronnie Coleman at his biggest, Nasser, Marcus Rule, Kai, Jay Cutler. These guys they're huge. Anybody except someone close to their size, which there are very few of those people in this world, would look small. So yeah, Kai made me look very small because he's so much bigger than me. That was a great video of you and Kai workout. I'm glad you liked that. That's on this channel, guys. If you haven't seen it, please check out. I was at Redcon Gym last week. I was in Florida for a week, and I got to train with Kai. It was really cool. And Redcon filmed it. Redcon sent the guy Denley. Denley was the videographer. Did a great job. Seth is right. Absolutely. Tyron. I'd rather live longer, no thanks to steroid drugs, and get vaccinated people. Yeah. I don't want to die. I never want to die. Unfortunately, even if I live to be 100, I'm still going to die eventually. The world's oldest woman was 119 in Japan. She died today. 119. Can you imagine being 119 years old? That means she was born like what, 19 or 18? Yeah. 1901, 1902, something like that. Yeah, you can see my math is terrible. Freddie again, just stop taking and just try and show up, find a show with just you. No. There are no shows where I could promote my own show and give myself my own trophy and make up my own organization. No, what would be the point? Like, I talk so much shit about these people that got their pro card by beating one person or 2 or 3 people. So if I got my pro card that way, how could I feel good about myself? How could I be proud of that when I'm on video? I'm on record many times saying that's like a a sleazy way or a cheesy way or a way too easy way to turn pro. So yeah, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do that. But like I said, the last time I tried to turn pro, my class, just my class, was over 40 heavyweights at the Masters Nationals 2013. Was 31 guys. I had 30 men on stage with me. We were, not all at the same time. I was third call out with strided glutes. I was over dieted. But I mean, and I got 14th. It was the worst placing in my career. But I digress. Let's promote duck eggs. Oh boy, duck eggs. I don't know if I'd want to promote duck eggs. Switch to duck eggs again. Jules, for me, I don't care about getting smaller. It's more a matter of sex drive. Well, in my case, I would be better off with a lesser sex drive because my wife is not on steroids. She's 51 years old. I have a much, much higher sex drive than my wife does. And I think a lot of you married men especially can relate to this. If you have a much higher sex drive than your wife, there's a level of conflict in your marriage because you want more sex than she does. And I think if I went down to TRT, my sex drive would come closer to hers. I imagine it would still be higher because even when I was natural for many years, I still had a higher sex drive than she did and wanted a lot more sex than she did. But I think if I went to TRT, so I'm up here now and say she's down here, she'll stay right down there, but maybe I'll come down to like here and it won't be that much of a difference. So I'm not worried about losing sex drive. I think for me, that would actually be a good thing. I'd actually be able to focus and concentrate more without thinking about sex all the time. It's so distracting. Freddie, again, you need to retrain yourself to eat less. Yeah, it would be a process. It would be a process to eat a lot less food, but it'd be a relief too because I get sick of eating food. I'm sure a lot of you guys get sick of eating so much food every day. Those of you who do live that life of the 5, 6, 7 meals a day. It's a lot of food. It's a lot of cooking if you're the one that has to do the cooking, or it's a lot of cooking for somebody else. I do my own cooking. You're always worried about like, I have to cook again. I eat the same foods every day, but they don't all run out at the same time. So I'll cook my chicken one day and that might run out. That might last me 10 days. I'll cook my ground turkey. That might last me like 8 or 9 days. So like today I have to make my ground turkey. That's my fifth meal. Sorry, that'll be my fifth meal. That's my 6:30 p.m. meal. Let's see. I can't believe someone wants to know who won the Arnold Classic Brazil. Didn't happen yet. They postponed it a week because of Carnival. But didn't they know Carnival was happening? Let's see. Nino Brown, people on drugs will always find a reason to validate taking drugs. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, nobody can really, justify things the way a junkie can. And I hate that term junkie. I do. And, my late sister she was a heroin addict. We called her a junkie a lot of times, but I saw addiction kill my sister. She was supposed to wean off methadone, which the state was giving her every day. She was supposed to get a liver transplant, but she had to be down to a certain amount, a very low amount of methadone, and she never got down to it. So she died of liver failure. Let's see. Freddie Erickson, you're right, Ron. Just checked. Males 76, women 81. Yeah, it went down 2 years. Our life expectancy dropped 2 years because of COVID. Jeez. Freddie Erickson, Kai even made you try bent over rows. No, see, those were like a real wide grip, which actually I do those with like a supported T-bar. I'll go really wide at the end of the bars and do my rear delts that way sometimes. But yeah, I couldn't do them bent over as heavy. He went up to like a 45. Even that for me bent over, it's not good for my back. Let's see. Rob Wells, nobody wants to die early. Where'd it go? We have to live the life we want, and that makes us happy. Yeah, I mean, do you want to be miserable? I mean, somebody might live to be 90 years old and their whole life is working at a factory 12 hours a day, and they have no friends, no family, and they just go home to this tiny, tiny apartment. I mean, what kind of life would that be? That's an example of a long life that's not a good life. You want a good life, too. Joshua asks, let's be honest, there's no safe way of taking gear. I agree. Any amount of gear is going to affect you in some way or the other. Yeah, these are powerful hormones. They change your physiology. There's no safe way to use steroids. There isn't. There are safer ways, but there's no safe way. Don't get it twisted. Infernal text, Tyrone, what's the best way to avoid moon face? That's actually going to be answered tomorrow. I think you already asked. Were you the one that asked that of Dr. T? So the video tomorrow morning, Ask Dr. Testosterone, he answered that question about moon phase. I actually made it the question of the week. I used that as the graphic because I like to try to get people to watch the videos. That's the whole point, right? Arnold, let's get Ron to Fuad's podcast. I'd love to be on Fuad's podcast. Will he have me? I don't know. Fuad, he knows how to reach me. If you ever wanted me on, I would definitely go on. Or even on the bro chat. I want to be a bro. They talk about all kinds of cool crap. Way beyond bodybuilding. Freddie Erickson, everyone might die in 2036 if that huge rock hits the Earth. Oh no, not again. We got another asteroid coming at us. Can't we send some rockets to blow it up or something? It works in the movies all the time. Yeah. Justin Hammond's, Ron, please get on stage one more time before I switch to TRT, bro. I don't know if I would, but you know what? Here's my plan. I do plan to get in really good shape this summer. I have like a bottle of Masteron, I have a bottle of Primo. I would use those and I'd get into really good shape, like very close to contest condition, and do at least 2 photo shoots. I know 2 local photographers that do very good work. I would get a ton of pictures, things to remember, maybe a video shoot, who knows. And that would be it. And then I could say, okay, this was my last hurrah, like age 52. Just want to get in great shape one last time on gear. But again, I don't want to take any crazy chances. I don't want to, it would be just too ironic in a bad way if I had a heart attack after all that. And, I do keep good, I monitor my heart health, I should say. I get ultrasounds done. I get a calcium score. My cardiologist, he tries to get me to come every 2 years for all this stuff because I think he's got a lot of patients that actually have existing heart problems and they should have priority over me, right? But I'm very, very insistent. I say, nope, no, I want to see you once a year at least. I want to make sure I see you at my cardiologist. Cool dude. Little young, but younger than me, so I guess he's not that young. Oh, man. Let's see. Freddie Erickson, it happens to me in cycling. When me shows up, you still get the win. Yeah, I don't want to win that way. I don't want to. I mean, even if there was a way where I could get my pro card and I was the only one that showed up, it'd be a very, very hollow victory. I would want to beat at least a few guys. Otherwise, you just showed up and get your pro card. That's to me, that's really lame. That's like, you're not. How can you say I'm a legit pro? I'm good. I'm at this level when, you could have. Maybe you can't even win a local show. You're not that good, but you just. And I do know guys. I know guys who were not good enough to win local shows, and eventually they found these master shows, and they turned pro. These are guys who were taking like 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th at local shows in Boston. They were never good enough to even win their class, and now they have their pro cards. So, yeah, I don't know. How do I keep coming back to that? Evan Lahr, do you have trouble with your gym being too crowded? I can't get any machines or benches. I don't because I go at a certain time. I usually go at like 9:30 in the morning. So if there's a morning rush, those people are all off. They're gone. They went off to work. And I try not to go during the evening rush hour, which any gym between, say, like 4 and 7 p.m., it's going to be crowded because that's most people get out of work at like 4 or 5. If a gym isn't particularly crowded on rush hour like that, it's probably not going to last long. It's probably going to go out of business. Yeah, I would just say try to find a different time if you can. Go a little earlier, later, something. Because, or find another gym that's not so crowded. I don't know. Rob Wells again, find the 6 meals a day the hardest part of the bodybuilding life. 5,000 calories a day is tough. Oh, 100%. I think the eating is the hardest part of all this. By far. Everybody loves to train. Everybody. I go to the gym and every day I see all these regular guys. They're in there. They love training. They train hard, but I could tell by just looking at them and the way they don't change. I doubt they're eating, every 2 to 3 hours from the time they wake up to the time they go to sleep, because that's a lot of work. You got to cook all that food. You got to freeze it. You got to take it out to thaw. You have to make sure all that food is prepared and ready when you need it. You have to make sure you have it in stock. You have to, I'm running out of chicken. Better buy some more chicken. Running out of this. You have to make sure you shop for or have it ready to cook. It's a lot of work. It's the hardest part. And I think when they say like nutrition is 90%, it's not 90%, but if you don't have the right nutritional basis for your training, you're never going to look as good as you could have. And most people, that's where they fall short because they don't want to take the time. It's a lot of work. It's not convenient, not at all. It's not fun to cook and eat all that food and eat all that food every damn day. It's a grind. I get sick of eating. I really do, but And it's like you can't go anywhere. You're like, oh, I have a 3 o'clock appointment here. Shit, when am I going to eat? I got to eat, make sure I have my food right before then. I got to take it with me so it's in the car so I can eat as soon as I get out of that appointment. You're always thinking about mealtime, mealtime. You don't want to schedule things at your meal times. It's ridiculous, you know. It's like, 'cause especially when you're not making a dime out of this stuff off bodybuilding. Like I'm not. I mean, I love it. It's my passion. It's a hobby, but I've never been paid to be a bodybuilder. I never will be paid to be a bodybuilder. So it's all for my own amusement at the end of the day. That was Rob Freddie Erickson. See you later. Going to PT. Hot blonde doc. Enjoy. Kenneth Martin is 50 too old to make a transformation? No way. I've seen people do it at like 60, even 70. There's no age limit to making a big change in your life, and physically, mentally, spiritually, financially. I don't even like that phrase too old. No, I don't like that because it's a limiting belief. If you believe you're too old to do something, or the wrong race or the wrong gender or the wrong whatever, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. So no, 50 is not too old. In fact, if you're starting to train at 50, you're still going to make all those newbie gains that you would have made had you started training at 14, 15, 16 like most of us did. You probably won't make the gains to the same degree because your body is older. You don't have as many hormones unless you're injecting steroids, the extra hormones, but you'll still make tremendous progress if you're new to it, because it's still so new and fresh to your body. You will definitely see huge. You'll make a great transformation. Would your wife be happier if I stopped cycling? Asked Mark. 100%. 100%. My wife hates me using steroids. Hates it. Would love for me to just go on TRT. She has never been supportive of steroids ever. From day one. From the time I started using them, she was against it. She's always been against it. She put up with it. She loves me. But no, she hates it. She'd be very, very happy for me to stop steroids. She loves me. I love her to death. She wants me around. I want to be around. I want to, my kids are, knock on wood, my kids are a little older already. They're 22 and 28. So they both outlived the age I was. I was 16 when I lost my dad. So I always had this goal. I gotta live till at least both kids are 16, and I've surpassed that. But now I'm thinking, I'd like to see. I've already seen my daughter got married in 2016. She was very young, so I've already seen one child get married, but no grandchildren yet. And I'm not like pressuring her to have grandchildren or pressuring my son to get married. He's only 22. I was 21, but yeah, I want to be around a long time. So yeah, this is. I can say for sure this is the last year. Not even the full year. This is the last time I'm going to be cycling, blasting steroids. After this, it's TRT. I'm done. And if I get a little smaller and the trolls have their day with me, so be it. It's my life. I can't let some nameless, faceless trolls or half literate dictate, the decisions I make with my life. Infernal tactics. Ron, you're the man. I am a man. That's right. Thanks a lot. I can't wait for the video tomorrow. God bless you. Yeah, I think he's talking about Ask Dr. Testosterone. So on this channel also, please check out the MD Levroni report we did. Kevin and I had a good discussion. He was very, very honest, open. Kevin's always that way. But we had a good discussion about how do we stop all the deaths. And, I was watching a Charles Glass video. I have a lot of respect for Charles, but one thing he said that I didn't really agree with at all was Charles said, the interviewer asked him, it was his channel, but he had somebody behind the camera asking questions. What's the difference? Why are so many bodybuilders dying now versus in your day? And his answer was, because we used to go to the doctor. And the guys now don't go to see the doctor. That's why. And I disagree with that. I think the guys now, there's a lot of reasons why guys now are dying. They're way bigger. They're using way more drugs than they were back in the day. The drugs are underground, so they're not pure. They're not pharma grade. They're contaminated and tainted a lot of times. Guys are staying bigger year round. They're staying on drugs year round, whereas back in the day, they used to cycle off. And we have guys bodybuilding later in life. It was unheard of for guys in their 40s and 50s to use steroids back then. Usually by the time they were 30, 35, they would retire and downsize. And we got plenty of guys in their 40s and even 50s who are just enormous now, jacked on all kinds of drugs, 250 to 300 pounds, eating all this food. So I think they are going to the doctor, but it doesn't matter. They're still doing all the damage. Yeah. What was your last blast and how long was it? I can't remember. I don't keep track of this stuff. I'm not saying that to try to avoid the question. Last blast. I don't know, probably like last summer around maybe July, August. I think I was doing 500 milligrams test a week, maybe 600. I think it was 600 test. I think I was doing 400 tren, and I might have been, I think I was on Anavar too, like 50 milligrams a day. I probably did that for like 8 weeks, 6 or 8 weeks. I honestly can't remember, but it was last summer. That's the last time I blasted. But I'm not on TRT now, so technically I'm on a blast. So right now, every 4th day, I do 200 milligrams test sip and 200 milligrams of equipoise. I do 25 milligrams of Proviron with breakfast every day too. So that's a blast. That's not TRT. It's not a blast like, 2, 3, 4, 5 grams, but it's a blast. It's more than TRT. Shadow Mark, Nick Walker. Yeah, 50 is probably too old to start looking like Nick Walker. Samson, the trolls who have never worked out a day in their lives, yet offer endless undesired opinions, advice. Yeah, that's the internet. That's social media. You got to take the good with the bad. Social media and the internet has so many great aspects to it. It's changed the world in so many good ways. Unfortunately, there are some downsides to it, like with anything in life. Ironhead Hooligan. I like that name, Hooligan. Bodybuilding is a life choice, a lifestyle, but then when something else fills your life, like family, kids, other things become priority, yeah. Sometimes I think, and this is, I don't know, I probably shouldn't even be saying this, but sometimes I think about if I had put all the time and energy into like a business that I have into this bodybuilding thing all these years, where would I be in life right now? Would I be this multimillionaire? Probably, because I'm not a dumb guy. I have a good work ethic, but I've been spending a lot of my time on training and eating. For what? Because I enjoy it. I love bodybuilding. I love working out. I love being big and lean and having a physique. So, yeah. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap it up. I appreciate you watching. So please check out that Kevin Leveroni video that's on this channel. We posted that this morning. Tomorrow morning, we have Ask Dr. Testosterone. So please subscribe to the channel. Like the video, subscribe, hit that notification bell thing up in the right-hand corner. Leave some comments. I will respond to all of them. I'm good like that. I like to hear from you guys. I like interacting. That's why I do these live things. So take care of yourselves, guys. Live your life, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye.